and I just felt attacked. Like, I really did. I felt attacked. I felt like the conversation was just taking a turn for the worse. And I felt myself shutting down because it was either shut down or say some things that I should not say. Well, you're not going to make me feel like I'm less than what I know that I am, because I know who I am. I know who God created me to be. I know of my knowledge and abilities and my talents and my gifts, and nothing that you can say is going to take that away from me. So I'm going to maybe be upset that you talked to me the way you did, but I'm going to walk out that door with confidence. I'm going to log off that call with confidence. I'm going to log off that call knowing who I am. But how many people go to work not really knowing who they are, still trying to figure themselves out, and then you come across these tyrant leaders who mistreat them. Welcome to another episode of Becoming with Angelina Watkins, and I'm your host, Angelina, your queen of becoming. And I am here to help sophisticated professionals and first-time entrepreneurs become who they need to be so that they can do what they're purposed to do, so they can live the abundant life that they want to live. So I want to welcome you to another episode. If this is your first time joining in, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining us. So many people have been tuning into the podcast and they're like, what do you really do? Because you keep saying you're the queen of becoming and you help us become. What do you really do? And so I just want to let you know that I am a spiritual growth and wealth strategist, and I help people achieve emotional, spiritual, and financial prosperity. I'm here to help you get in position to win at love, life, and money. Okay. And so I started this podcast because I wanted to have conversations and talk about things to help us become and develop into the person that we need to be in order to have the things that we want in life. And it could be anything. We can talk about anything from, relationships, success, money, business, whatever it is that you're needing in order to personally develop, change who you are so that you can achieve and go to the highest height in the highest of your potential. But today's episode, I really want to get into talking about effective communication in the workplace. Because I've been experiencing some challenges here lately, and I said, you know what? I got this podcast. I want to be transparent, and I want to be able to share, my journey of the things that I go through. Healing is a lifelong journey, and although I feel like I am in a healthy position, I've come a long way. That doesn't mean that I don't continue to need work, because we're always going to be constantly presented with issues that we're going to have to address. And that means that we're going to have to put in practice the things that we've learned in order to not be emotionally unhealthy and respond in emotionally unhealthy ways. But today at work was just not a good day for me. It was very, very challenging for me to be able to communicate with those at work. And I just felt attacked. Like, I really did. I felt attacked. I felt like the conversation was just taking a turn for the worse. And I felt myself shutting down because it was either shut down or say some things that I should not say. And, I just got to thinking about how we communicate in the workplace, and how our leaders are so emotionally unhealthy. So I was reading this article. It was called 9 Ways Leaders Insult Their Employees. And I want to read to you the opening statements of this article, because I'm like, this is going to be good. So let me read this to you. So it says, many leaders lack executive presence and the basic fundamentals to effectively communicate with and manage people. Holding a fancy title doesn't give a leader permission to disrespect and antagonize their employees. Today's leaders must be emotionally intelligent enough to know when they are crossing the line. Unfortunately, many people lack maturity as leaders and find themselves insulting their employees all too often. And is this not what I experienced today? And so I want to talk about leaders' lack of being or inability to effectively communicate with their direct reports. And and this is seen all too often that, and it's not just in the workplace, but all too often we get these titles and we get in these positions and we think that these positions allow us to mistreat people. We think that these positions allow us to talk to people in your kind of way. And it's just not right. It's not right when we get into these conference calls and we want to yell at others on these calls. We want to be demeaning. We want to be insulting. We want to attack their character and attack who they are. And, I felt attacked today because, I'm a project manager and I was told that I wasn't PMing. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, how dare you come on this call and tell me that I'm not PMing when I've been doing nothing but PMing, managing people, managing timelines, trying to create win-win solutions. And you told me I'm not PMing? I'm not managing relationships. And I'm just like, wow, is this where we're going when someone says that they're having issues and they're having problems, and instead of trying to help them work through the issue and the problem, we just want to insult their skills and abilities and knowledge? um and how many people experience that? I would like to know from you if you've been in the workplace where you've experienced your management or your leadership being insulting, being demeaning, talking down to you, micromanaging you, making you feel like you're less than what you know that you are. I'd like to hear from you. Tell me down in the comments if you've experienced being talked to in a manner at work that you're like, wait a minute, my own parents don't even talk to me like that. What makes you think that it's okay to just yell at me in front of my coworkers? What makes you think it's okay for you to talk to me as if I'm your teenage daughter or son? Like, this is becoming ridiculous how we are getting in these positions of leaderships, but we don't know how to lead. Part of being a leader is knowing how to talk to people. And if you don't know how to effectively communicate with people, to get to the root cause of things, to be able to understand things, to be able to work things out, what you're going to do is you're going to find yourself troopless. Yeah, you're going to turn around and there's not going to be anyone standing behind you, supporting you and wanting to work with you. You're going to be out some people if you don't learn how to effectively communicate, because people do not get up in the morning, sacrifice their time and their well-being and their mental health to come to work, to be treated any old kind of way and talk to you any old kind of way. As leaders, it is important for you to mature and develop emotional intelligence so that you can be able to relate and understand the people that work for you. Okay, emotional intelligence is not just about managing your own emotions and how you respond, but being able to understand and manage other people's emotions and understand where they might be coming from and where they are and how you talk to them might make them feel. Now, for me, I felt attacked. Well, you're not going to make me feel like I'm less than what I know that I am, because I know who I am. I know who God created me to be. I know of my knowledge and abilities and my talents and my gifts, and nothing that you can say is going to take that away from me. So I'm going to maybe be upset that you talked to me the way you did, but I'm going to walk out that door with confidence. I'm going to log off that call with confidence. I'm going to log off that call knowing who I am. But how many people go to work not really knowing who they are, still trying to figure themselves out, and then you come across these tyrant leaders who mistreat them and don't talk to them right, and they're not emotionally and mentally able to handle it. I might shed a few tears, but when I rise up, baby, when I rise up like a lion, like a bear, hello, when I rise up like the queen that I am, you're gonna have to know that you don't get to me. But what about all those people who aren't where I am? And they're dealing with leaders who don't know how to be leaders. They're dealing with leaders who don't know how to effectively communicate. Let me tell you something. If you are watching this podcast and you are a leader, you have to know how to effectively communicate. And if you don't, please go learn. please go learn it, because being a leader is about being able to guide. It's about understanding who your people are, understanding their personalities, understanding where they come from, understanding why they may do what they do, being able to recognize their different personality traits and how they work and how they communicate, and then being able to navigate that in order to help them perform to get the work done. And if you don't know how to do that, well, then let me tell you something. Your team, your organization, your business, whatever it is not going to go far. And eventually it's just going to deteriorate, because nobody's going to want to be able, you're not going to be able to coach anyone into greatness talking to them the way that y'all talk to them. I just wanted to be able to share that. Leaders need to be able to effectively communicate in the workplace if you want your team and your organization to be successful. And you can't go around being demeaning, being dismissive, being critical, being insulting, yelling, and micromanaging. That's a whole nother conversation, okay? If you are any of those things, I'm gonna need you to find a leadership class so you can learn how to effectively lead people into their greatness, okay? Now, where you are, it's not where you have to be. Your past does not define you. You define you. So heal, transform, and pursue you.